Welcome to this vlog slash diary of a bike tour we did in August 2020. I'm Jacob. That's me right there. And I'm just gonna talk you through it as we go along. So this is Hagastad, which is 1,000 meters above sea level. We arrived really early in the morning with the night train. We've been trying to sleep, but that didn't really work out. So we had to take a nap inside the station there, which is open 24/7. And get going around 5:45 when the sun finally came up. You just saw a last-minute shoe cover I had to make by cutting open a sock because it's really cold up at this altitude. So here we are, not far from the station, at the start of what is called Dallavegen. It's an access road, fire road, gravel road in the mountains that follows the Oslo-Bergen railway line. It was built for the workers of that line when it was made back in the 1900s, and it's just a beautiful bike ride, no matter what bike you're on. Maria is on a 20-year-old hardtail right now, and I'm on a 11-year-old hardtail, I think. And I'm sure that even if you had a road bike and you had to carry it across the worst bits, you'd still really enjoy this bike ride. The full beauty of it doesn't really translate to the camera at this point. Towards 7 in the morning, then it's really cold. There's a beautiful cold wind on your face, and there's some beautiful Norwegian potholes as well. Here you can see some different pictures from Finse, which is where they shot the ice planet Hoth for Star Wars, if you didn't know. But it's also just a beautiful place, and we had to make our train from there to Hallingscheid because there was too much snow on the road on the highest altitude. So that cut like 20 kilometers out of our route. It's a 10-minute train ride, and it's usually not something you have to do, but there was too much snow this winter, so it still hadn't melted now in August. Up in the hillside there you can see the snow coverings for the railway. That's where the railway runs. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful experience. I tried to take some pictures to maybe see if it would translate better, and I think it does than with the video. It's just even prettier in person. I just recommend going there and doing it if I were you guys, no matter what bike. These are some switchbacks on the steepest bit down to Flomsdalen, to happy travelers right there, even though we haven't slept. And here are some more guardians of Dallavegen, I guess. They're really cute, and they brighten up my day at least. A lot of this downhill footage looks uphill. I don't know why. I think it's the angle I'm filming at, but it's pretty much descending from after the midway point. So this is towards the end of Dallavegen. It went okay. I had one flat towards like the middle of it, and a couple of minutes after this footage I had another one, which you can see me fix in the picture down there. So 2 flats in a day, but I had enough spare, so it was okay. So 80 kilometers to Flom. This is from day 2. We started in Flom on Flom camping, which is a decent, adequate camping site if you're touring. And just showed you the bikes there, and these are some snippets from the road. The mountain in the background there is the one we're going up on day 2. And I knew it was going to be a really hard experience because of the gradients and the lengths of it. So I was really nervous at this point, but I could still take it and enjoy the scenery. We had some coffee before attempting the climb, and this is us at the bottom of the climb. So Aurlandsfjellet is the name of the mountain pass that we're doing. This is from the first hill, and I'm already panting and breathing quite heavily, just getting into the rhythm of it. There's some monster gradients on this climb. Komoot says it goes up to 22%. I don't believe that's true, but it's up towards 15 many times. I'm sure, and our bikes are weighing in at about 15 kilos each at this point. Here you can see the average is 8, so the real steep bits are way worse. Regardless of how we felt, though, it's still a beautiful climb despite the gradients. And here's a picture of us maybe a quarter of the way up. There's a viewing platform, and it's really nice. There's less footage from here on out because of how steep it is. This is us approaching the halfway point. The climb goes from 2 meters above sea level. This is the halfway point. And here's a picture of there's no flats, so we're sitting at this gradient. It goes from 2 meters above sea level until 1,300 meters above. I ran out of energy quite badly and had to walk some of the bits towards the end. But here we are on the final stretch up. And after many hours, we finally made it to the top, which was an amazing feeling. But man, was it a hard climb on these bikes. I think we walked the bikes for maybe 1 kilometer or something, which I'm quite proud of. This is from the top. There's finally some descending, and it just felt amazing. It's really, really, really cold as well. It was super hot on the way up. The sun wouldn't rest at all. It was just pressing us, but the wind chill at the top was an absolute godsend, as well as this tailwind that we got. I still had to walk some of the pinchers though. These are some pictures from the top. Once again, the beauty is better captured on stills than video, but the pictures don't really do it justice either. You have to go there. We were lucky with the weather. Usually rains over here. But yeah, it was just a beautiful day. This is from the descent on the Lærdal side. If you're going, these gradients are a bit nicer, a bit less steep. So, but the side we picked for ascending is just more spectacular and beautiful. Here you can see it on the relive video. So it's the bottom of the climb, and you can see from the amount of switchbacks that it was absolute hell on a heavy touring bike. On this stretch, I kind of bonked. We had to take a break, walk the bike from there to there. That's the top. And then it was kind of smooth sailing for the next 35 kilometers to Lærdal. As I told you, you can see that it's less spectacular and a nicer gradient, but I'm quite content with how it went. Kind of proud of ourselves for doing it. But it was really tiresome, so this is the next morning. We're exhausted, and it's fucking raining. Breakfast beneath a bridge, and we weren't quite sure how this day would go. We had a 35-kilometer trek to do to Borgen, but we packed up the tent in the rain and just started, and already it was kind of beautiful, and the rain made it kind of the perfect cycling temperature. The day before had been 25 Celsius up the mountainside, and now it was just, I don't know what the exact number was, but it was just way better. Here we are on E16, which is like a main road between Bergen and Oslo. Even so, the motorists they're kind of nice and respectful if you're wearing visible gear and have your lights on, like we did. Again, this might not look too beautiful because of how my camera captures the gray scenery, but it felt really good, and it is actually quite beautiful. This next stretch of road is kind of a historic route between Bergen and Oslo, and there's this really old footpath just above the river there, and this road is the older car road between Oslo and Bergen. Lots of funny tunnels, and yeah, like you can see, you're driving basically beside a vertical hill. It's just an experience. I'd recommend it if I were you. And after, yeah, this is after a couple of hours. It wasn't the longest day, but we were so tired from the day before. This is us finally sailing into Bergen. There is one thing to see in Bergen, and it's this thing right here. It's a stave church. You might know it from black metal culture or from, I don't know, tourist information or something. But it's really beautiful. We stayed the night at Bergen Camping, rented a hut instead of using the tent, which was a good choice because it was absolutely pouring down. Cheap place to stay, nice showers. I'd recommend it if you're touring. This is, like you can see, we enjoyed the rest and filled up on a lot of calories that we needed. Here you can see the campsite. I'd say it's pretty beautiful, and we were lucky with the weather again for day 4. We were crossing back over the mountains that divide Norway between east and west, going back east to where we're from, and we finally reached the top after a couple of hours. I wasn't sure I was going to make it up when I woke in the morning, but we started and just made sure to eat enough on our way and on the way, Jesus, and it worked out. And I've always wanted to stop here when we've driven over the mountains with a car to go play concerts in Bergen or whatever. And it was a beautiful stop. Perfect temperature because of the altitude. Maria made some good coffee, and yeah, just had a really good time. And I think one of the best cycling experiences of my life is what followed. Here you can see us going back into eastern Norway and leaving western Norway behind. But that doesn't mean that the mountains are over. And from this point down to Hemsedal, it was basically just hours of descending, and I haven't had that much fun in a while. I think we reached like 70 kilometers an hour or something, and you didn't have to brake because the roads were so straight. And yeah, it was just an awesome time seeing the landscape roll past as a movie of some sort. The trailer and the car you saw just past, that's typical of Norway. They'll be respectful towards you if you are respectful towards them. Like, don't be a dick. And I was wearing full vest and having my lights on, like I previously stated, which obviously helped. But from here on out, that day, it's just kilometers and kilometers of descending and running out of gears, and not in the bad way. It's probably like an hour in or something, just still going. Looks like we have to pedal, but it's basically descending all the way. Here's some cows. A highlight that day. There's an idiot driving way too close. But like I said, most motorists in Norway are great at being respectful. Once again, the descents, they just don't stop coming. And I'm laughing because I just remember how good of a feeling it was. Being super tired in my whole body and just being able to enjoy descending for over an hour on the bike I've had since I was 15. Super fun. This is from Hemsedal, the campsite we went to. It's called Elvely Camping. Nice showers, nice tent space right by the river. And the day after this, it was, first I'd say, the pizza shops in Hemsedal delivered to the camping, which was nice. But yeah, this is from the last day, day 5, from Hemsedal, that campsite, and then down to a place called Gol, where you can take the train back to Oslo or the bus, which we ended up doing. And it's still just descending, really. Here are the relief profiles from after the first mountain thing and up to Bergen. and it's quite flat in the start. It wasn't as flat as I thought it would be. There's quite a bit of elevation from this point onwards. It's a bit of a Strava bug going on right here. We didn't go that far up, but yeah, here we come around the bend towards the Stave Church and then to the campsite. Completely manageable day. I think we used 3.5 hours. That sounds correct. Here's the relief for the main mountain crossing back to eastern Norway. Starting off quite easy and then the climb. It's not as hard as Aurlandsfjellet by far, but it's quite demanding as well. This is where we stopped for the coffee and stuff, and this is where the descent starts. Just beautiful, beautiful descent. You can see it on the elevation profile. Lovely day to be biking, I must say. I think I would enjoy it even if it was raining, I'm sure. And that's the campsite, and you'll see on the last relief bit that the final day is also pretty much just descending. It's it's a bit flat, and if it's not flat, then it's downhill. So just beautiful. We ended up taking one night at a hotel in Gol, which is entirely possible. The train was full, so we had to do a bus instead back to Oslo, but they're both equally as fast as each other. It's like 3 hours by bus, I think, and it was just a really nice route. This is one final photo of the bike I used. It's from 2009 or something, and it was just a great ride. I hope I've inspired you to do the same. If there's anything you're wondering about, just leave a comment down below and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge.